Hello, my name is Ofer. I'm heading the Computational Intelligence Group at Migal Institute, and I'm also an associate professor of computer science in Tel Hai College. Today, I would like to speak about algorithmically-guided scientific discoveries, which is a topic covered in my research at Migal. A common problem shared by scientists is the need to search over an array of variables in order to arrive at new scientific discoveries. This task is translated into a navigation problem. So the scientists are required to navigate in a high-dimensional search space which scales exponentially with the number of variables. Douglas Kell, in an article almost 10 years ago, 2012, formulated this, the general scientific discovery problem, as a combinatorial optimization problem, which makes it interesting to computer scientists. The long-term vision, the broader picture, if you will, is artificial intelligence taking an active leading role in scientific research. And we entitle that as AI-directed experimentation. The AI and machine learning methodologies already take a major role in current scientific research, but usually in an auxiliary or a passive manner, meaning that they assist scientists in identifying patterns, recognizing patterns, or solving classification and labeling problems. However, we envision the role of AI becoming more prominent, more leading by taking more decisions and even drawing some new scientific hypotheses. So the challenge of encoding scientific or existing scientific knowledge into a machine is already tackled. Scientific knowledge could be represented and encoded within a machine. For instance, we could think of an exercise of encoding, say, undergrad knowledge in chemistry, let's say represented by 10 textbooks, that could be encoded, let's say, by ontologies or a specific programming language, such as Prolog, into the machine. So an undergrad knowledge in chemistry could be encoded, and a machine, right, an artificial intelligence, could work with that encoded knowledge in order to become a team member, if you will. A mouse embryo anatomy has been already encoded into Prolog. That's already 7 years ago. And that's a fine example for representing knowledge into a machine. So this vision of the machines taking an active part in the laboratory of a scientist is something that we see coming into fruition. This dream is coming to fruition. A recent article published in Science showed the feasibility of a machine reproducing scientific results reported in a chemistry journal article. So using natural language processing, the AI could read the article, if you will, and translate that into operations of reproducing the reported results within the article. The task of causal inference has also been treated successfully at different levels by machines. And this revolution is taking place. It is happening, and it is very exciting, of course, to view that and also contribute our angle. So what is our angle? We specialize in experimentation driven by algorithms, meaning that the algorithms take a role within a feedback loop or within an experimental setup that drives the iterations or the cycles by a specific calculation or by a given algorithm. So this is not novel. The first reports of algorithms taking part in such experimentation was already reported in the 70s, 1970s. And it was more established in the 90s, where with a famous article called Teaching Lasers How to Control Molecules, where the algorithms really became part of the laboratory. The systems that we investigate here at Migal are of different scientific nature, and the algorithms are also different. They are more modern, advanced, and they also integrate some machine learning features. The first system that we are happy to report on its result is using algorithms to guide experimentation to maximize the yield of protein expression. Protein expression is a common practice in many biochemistry laboratories around the globe, and it is usually realized or implemented by known protocols. They are known in those laboratories by a PhD student, transferring the knowledge to the next PhD student, and so forth. And those practices are usually pretty good. However, when we question that from a combinatorial optimization problem, they are likely to be local optima at best. And no one has ever questioned their optimality in the global sense and in an open or a freestyle search, if you will. So the work here, in collaboration with Dror Noy at Migal, is about driving the yield of the expressed protein to the maximum. The specific system is depicted on this chart. I will not go into the details, but it's a complex process with many variables involved, many parameters to tune, and ordering of operations to permute. So in principle, there is an interesting combinatorial problem featuring roughly 3 million possible combinations to express this protein. And we took this closed feedback loop approach by driving the iterations or the protein expression by a specific algorithm that we devised. The feedback, which is the yield, the obtained yield, is returned to the machine, to the algorithm, in the end of each cycle, each iteration. And we progress iteratively from cycle to another, improving the protocols and arriving at new and interesting ways, new ways to express this protein. The intermediate outcome that we currently hold is a protocol with some surprising nature that achieves competitive results to the best known practice of humans, but as I mentioned, has a surprising nature that the machine arrived at. Another system that we currently investigate in earlier stages compared with the protein expression is a completely different system from a different domain, the post-harvest domain, where we aim to obtain better or improved protocols to maintain the quality of fresh produce. And this field, this domain is called post-harvest. In post-harvest, again, there are known good practices that are scientifically justified by the post-harvest researchers. They could be explained, and they are known for many years. However, the potential here for a combinatorial search is equivalent. So no one questioned from a combinatorial optimization perspective the effectiveness of new areas in the search space. Perhaps new protocols could compete with the known protocols or even outperform them. The idea here is to obtain specific treatments, protocols, that are to be realized in the laboratory. We are specifically working nowadays on cucumbers, and we would like to minimize the deviation in the color or the mass or the stiffness of the cucumber, say 3 or 4 weeks after the harvest point. We could also aggregate those 3 objectives into a single objective, and in principle try to minimize, that's the objective function, try to minimize the deviation, the overall deviation from the harvest point. The quality loss is this objective function. The experiments here are underway, and at this point we are happy to report that the algorithm is able to locate, again, surprising protocols that are of good quality. They obtain good post-harvest outcome. This work is, of course, not done by a single person. There is a team of researchers working with us. The core team at Migal, Michal, Boris, Asaf, Martin, Naama, Ido, and Guy. And there are worldwide collaborations that are mentioned here on this chart. This is the brief message that we were hoping to broadcast to you today. We hope by the next time we meet, this vision is progressed toward more involvement of AI in scientific research and the arrival of new discoveries. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.